What's going on, folks? It's your guy, Tommy Gahan, TG here for Ice Cold Sports, America's sports show. Beautiful night here in Gainesville, Florida, but in my heart, I'm in Boulder, beautiful Boulder, Colorado, and so are the two gentlemen with me today, Mr. Henry Collins and Mr. Zach Lyons, because, and I don't know if you out here have heard this, but this might be an exclusive to Ice Cold Sports. Deion Sanders is the head coach of the University of Colorado Buffaloes football team. How are we feeling, boys?
I'm feeling pretty broke because I did tweet out I'd send my entire paycheck to Deion if we got it. So, hopefully people don't bring that back up. But I told TG earlier that I woke up that morning. We heard at like 9 p.m. that night or whatever. Woke up that morning a new man. I felt actually happy. The first time in 24 years. But it was
first time ever?
no, I felt happy before. But it's a great time to be a buff. I can't remember the last time we had like a happy buff pod. It has to have been like maybe 2 years.
We've never had a happy buff pod.
I feel like we were happy after one game.
I feel like we've had some happy basketball buff pods.
I've been disappointed like the basketball team like lost to Washington. I was like, whatever. Who cares? Who's the next 5-star we're getting? Who's the next head coach we're poaching? We're the new Bama.
So on top of Deion coming to Colorado, which monumental move. By the way, I've never seen a kind of move where it literally changed the trajectory of a program from the very bottom to near the top in a day's time. It's crazy. I've never seen it.
It was almost less than a day, almost like less than a day, because he made that official even before his press conference or whatever. 2025 5-star, like 13th in the rank, 13th in the country, committed to us.
Well, but the rumor, I get a lot. I don't know. A lot of this is all rumors, but rumor has it like Deion was talking to guys, trying to get guys to Colorado like as early as Thanksgiving. Of just like guys he knew was going to be in the portal. I think this has been in the works for longer than we realize. I really only started to smell smoke when Owen McCown hopped in the portal. Because I think that I don't know. I refused to get my hopes up at that point, but I felt like it was also kind of a pretty clear signal that something was coming.
I think so. I watched the press conference today for the first time.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming.
He's coming. And
we know.
Deion was telling people that like Rick was like texting him like week by week and like
I love that
of like the arena of Folsom and be like the snow on Folsom, but it's gonna melt in an hour and whatever. So it has been happening. I think he might have said October. He said week 3, October something.
That's crazy.
So it has been a while. It was a long time coming. I remember that. But yeah, that Owen McCown news definitely like kind of solidified. Like, why would he leave?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, now first of all, other pieces of news obviously attached onto this. Sean Lewis, the head coach at Kent State, is coming to Boulder to be our offensive coordinator. Which
he took a demotion. He took a demotion to come work for Prime.
It has happened. You know what? It has happened. It's not unheard of. It has happened, but it is rare and it is pretty fucking cool.
I don't remember this. I don't remember if it's happened. I don't remember it.
It happened with the Ball State coach going to Maryland a few years back.
It's unbelievable. I mean, we buy him out for $750K, and then the stats that I put in the group chat. Let's see if I can pull those up real quick. Oh yeah, and then we bring in those the Kent State offense. The program he is one of like the best in the country. In the 2020-21 COVID year, adjusted season, he led an offense to 606 yards per game and 49.8 points per game. Both figures led the nation that year. Which is, I mean, we had 21 total touchdowns in the year.
Yeah.
So does he just run like a wide open spread offense?
I'm gonna have to check out the footage from Kent State, the Golden Flashes.
like I don't. I'm almost at lost for because I'd never think that Boulder will be able to buy out coaches like that. Like it's nothing. Like I don't think we'd get to that point. Maybe in our lifetime. It's truly. I don't know. I don't know if we were maybe we won the Powerball.
Maybe that's a very good point. Maybe that is why this is happening. Maybe we did win the Powerball.
Maybe someone won in California and he's just like give it to the Buffs program.
True. It's a good point. It's a very good point. I mean, they have to have it figured out. They definitely have the money situation in some way. They definitely have figured out. I'm just shocked the Regents went along with it. The Regents, I feel like, would have held this plan up massively. But I guess, I don't know, maybe just because it's Prime, they were able to be it's Prime. You can't say no to Prime. Prime time, baby.
I think I was almost more surprised that they were so willing just suddenly to change the transfer restrictions too, because before we didn't have a someone has to maybe it was Salomon or someone else sat down with DiStefano and said my opinion at least was that this program was in danger of being just left in the dust in where modern college football is going, both financially and in just kind of their status in the power conferences of America.
Yeah.
Someone has to have just sat DiStefano down and been like, we need to do something to move forward, or else
we're screwed.
We're gonna end up as an FCS school, or we're gonna be not playing football at some point. So I really think it was that big in the long term picture. I really think it was that big of a decision, and also your football team, whether we like it or not, morally is just kind of, it is your schools. It is the lens through which larger American society views your school. And I think that of CU has been a laughingstock recently, and it's good to see the entire administration aligned finally in one direction, moving forward. We're gonna pour resources into this, but I'm also like one small part of me is kind of pissed, why couldn't this have been done 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago if it was that easy?
Well, to be fair here, Prime is a very specific, he's a different animal, completely different animal. I mean, this is almost unheard of, this type of thing happening. I mean, this kind of candidate, this kind of guy who for some stupid reason bigger programs weren't going for, this kind of electric presence, and this opportunity, and this is such a unique and special situation to happen, and for Rick George to be able to convince. Shout out Rick George. Rick George, you're the man.
Yeah,
love you, Rick George.
He killed it on this.
Killed it. But he, to convince him to come here, it's not as easy as 1, 2, and 3. That could have been done 10 years ago. You didn't have a guy like Prime who could come, and you didn't have the apparatuses where a guy like Prime could come in to a school and then be like, oh, I'm going to get that 5-star and that 5-star and that 4-star, and I'm going to bring in this coach and that coach and this coach. It just didn't happen like that, even when we were in school. So things have changed massively.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of schools either were hesitant. I mean, Prime, we all know Prime. It's a home run hire, but there is a lot of, it could all go wrong so quickly as well.
Disagree.
I really think I think he's going to do well, obviously. I'm going to back him, whatever. But there's a lot of risk in taking Prime as well. It's not like it's all butterflies and sunshines, because if it was,
what's the risk?
He could, I don't know. He's an inexperienced P5 head coach.
I think
he's a wild. I was worried about. He's a wild card. We all know that. I mean, wild cards are good.
Who's the bigger risk, taking on him or bringing in a guy who had not coached in a decade in Karl Dorrell? Who's the bigger risk between those two?
Well, and I was I don't know. I see the point you're making there, TG, but I think I was worried about I was worried about the lack of experience as well, Henry, but within a day we've just seen like he's trying to surround himself with really smart people. The Kent State head coach, forgive me, I forgot his name already.
Sean Lewis.
Sean Lewis, yeah, buying him out of his contract, bringing him one of the better offensive minds in America. I've heard Mike Zimmer, defensive coordinator.
Now that I'm going to have to see that to believe that. I'm not buying that yet.
That would actually be insane if we.
No, it would be insane. I'm not saying it's impossible. Anything is possible at this point, but I'm going to pump the brakes on that one until I see it happen.
He was an advisor with Jackson State last year, so that's why. And I guess they're buddies. I don't know how they're connected.
No, that makes sense.
But that's the smoke that's being made about Zimmer. But if you get Zimmer and Sean on your as coordinators, and you have Willie Target and
Taggart,
sorry, and some other FAU guy. I guess they haven't done well in the past, but they're great recruiters apparently, and that's all I really know. Yeah, you bring those guys, and then apparently we brought on the Texas A&M defensive line coach or whatever. I mean,
Alabama defensive assistant.
Yeah, you bring in all these guys. It's almost like
too good to be true.
Quickly building one of the best coaching staff in college football, and you just throw 4 or 5 star players. It doesn't matter who it is and what their experience is. You're gonna get some dogs, like he said, and he's bringing the Louis.
People are criticizing him for that video of him talking to the players.
The media is also cutting out such an important piece in that video, and it's really pissing me off. He said, if you don't want to work and if you don't want to, like, I'm going to make you quit. If you don't want to work, hit the portal. You can leave. I'll bring in my dogs. I'll bring in whoever I need. If you don't want to work, you can leave. And everyone's saying, like, oh, he's telling these players to leave. Like, that's not.
I lost all respect for Deion Sanders watching that video.
They won 1 game. How? Like, I'll kick everyone off as well.
No,
Are you kidding me?
That was a great. I was totally fine with that message to deliver. It's like,
I know.
Prove to me why you should be here, or get the fuck in the portal. Like,
also, is it worse to say, like, hey, if you don't think you're gonna be hang out here, get in the portal, or to kind of tease these guys and then blindside them with all this kind of stuff? Like, he's being honest to these young men. He's telling them the truth.
Yeah. If you can't handle that messaging, then you should probably just go to the a lower tier football program. And Deion says, like, I'm gonna be truthful, I'm gonna be honest.
Because he's here for excellence.
Yeah.
He isn't here for mediocrity, which is beautiful. That's the thing I really love to hear him talk.
No, it's gonna be an unbelievable. I mean, he's great. I'm just waiting. It's like 2016 when it was like Trump and Hillary, and everyone was like refreshing Twitter and like seeing like the poll updates. I'm waiting for the 5-star updates. I'm like on Twitter refreshing 24/7.
Yeah, no, I'm on Twitter a lot more than I should be right now. I'm just looking for like Travis Hunter's 100% crystal ball prediction to CU. That you told me that was happening. You told Zach Lyons 2 months ago that Travis Hunter would be a Colorado Buffalo for the 2023
Wait, did he
season.
actually say that?
What?
When did you say that?
No.
What were you talking about?
No. I'm saying if you told 2 months ago that, I would just be like, you're fucking lying to me. That's not a thing. That's not happening. And
you would say, stop
I'm,
being mean to Zach and bullying him and telling him fake lies.
You guys would be, if I told you that Travis Hunter, like 3 months ago, if I told you guys Travis Hunter would be a Colorado Buffalo, you would be like you'd be checking in to see if I was okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just, with the whole thing, I'm just somewhere in between, like, still in disbelief and like ready to donate my entire savings account to the NIL collective.
Also, the NIL money, I feel like people don't realize it's going to come in a lot from sponsors from like outside of Colorado.
Oh
People,
my gosh.
it's all corporate.
I was talking to my uncles like, who's like, is CU gonna pay for that? I'm like, no one. It's no school pays for that anymore. People are gonna. It's corporate and people like the school doesn't have to pay these kids anymore. It's all us now and whatever. And I feel like Barstool is one company that's gonna set up headquarters in Boulder and feed a lot of those kids.
Barstool does seem like Boulder crowd, but Boulder and Barstool seem like like this, like
that's
they
a match made, and I think Dave knows that. And now that like his boy Deion is there, and obviously Deion had a Barstool show or whatever, and they went to Jackson State, but like they're not. That's like a destination place. They go to Boulder. They're paying for those kids.
They're already saying that they're going to have their college football show in Boulder for CU versus Nebraska.
Yeah,
why not? That's going to be
pretty massive.
Yeah, I would love if like somehow Deion Sanders versus Matt Rule reignites the rivalry, because I think we have them on the schedule a few other times in the next few years, right?
Matt Rule.
I mean, allegedly Deion's only going to stay for like 3 years, but
we'll see. Hey, you know what? I disagree. One reason I disagree is because I think the next step for him would be the NFL.
I also agree. I don't know if he would go. I don't know if he would go SEC. I think he would go. I think
NFL.
He would go, or if he's like a legacy guy, he would maybe he's like setting up shop. Who knows? I don't think anyone knows his next move. Considering his last move was 2 days ago.
I'm not looking that far in the future at this moment. I'm enjoying the present.
I am too.
Yes.
Can I?
Because I don't want to be knocked down of this.
We're not going to get knocked down the same way we were with Mel. All right, I promise you that. Even if it's only 3 years, it's still going to be a beautiful 3 years. Go ahead, Lions.
Yeah, can I ask a somewhat related question?
Yep.
What do you guys think the ceiling is?
National championship.
Oh god.
I'm 1,000% serious. You think I'm joking?
No, I was gonna say college football playoff, especially with it expanding soon.
Oh yeah, 3 years. 3 years. I think if we're not in the college football playoffs, I'll give it 3 years, but my heart says 2. I think it would be like a huge disappointment.
You said the ceiling, not the expectation. The ceiling. The ceiling is a national championship.
Yeah,
we'll have national championship caliber players on this roster. You win national championship with 4 and 5 stars lining up your roster in elite coaching. That's how Alabama does it. That's how Georgia does it. That's how Clemson does it. And if Colorado has 4 and 5 stars up and down the roster with elite coaching, that is a team that can win a national championship. So absolutely, the ceiling is a national championship.
Yeah, I think it is national championship. I've just never seen players tweet like, yo, like Trey Sanders, former number 1 recruit, Alabama running back. He's bare on the depth chart, whatever. He's like, yo, you got room for me. Mind-boggling. And you have all these other kids like tweeting at like Deion or like, oh, like Colorado, like Deion's at Colorado now. Like, I think I'm opening up my recruitment again, or I've always wanted to live in Colorado, winky face and stuff like that. Then you have reports saying like over 200 transfer portal players have reached out to Deion, and Deion still needs to play a bowl game. Like he's not even like he has staff to focus on that. I think that makes a ceiling for a national championship. Also,
people are talking about Shedeur and saying like it wasn't right that he said he's the future quarterback in the press conference. The man's a 4-star who's has had elite stats at Jackson State. And I guess you can say, oh, it's just Jackson State. Still a 4-star recruit coming out of high school. He would be a starter in most Power 5 programs, and he's going to be the starter at CU. I am over the moon about that. Don't care what anyone else has to say.
I have a question for both of you.
Okay.
Transfer portal has been very hot, and there's been a lot of good quarterbacks in that transfer portal. You see DJ. I'm not going to pronounce.
DJ stinks. DJ. I don't want DJ. Booty cheeks.
You also have the Oklahoma State quarterback Sanders.
Spencer Sanders.
Yeah, he's in the transfer portal. Would you take either of those two over?
Shador?
No.
I guess not. No, just because no. First of all, neither of them I think are that. I mean, Spencer Sanders is pretty good, but he's not amazing. And DJ has been a gigantic disappointment. Just like
yeah,
that.
I mean, he was so hyped, and it was kind of sad.
He literally had like a $1 million deal with fucking Dr. Pepper. He was doing Dr. Pepper commercials going into his first year as a starter, and he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I couldn't believe with the 5-star talent he had, how many games he had in like that Clemson offense with so many awesome guys around him that were just like 9 for 27 or for
Well, it's like Kelly Bryant.
100 yards and 2 picks. No, Kelly Bryant was a lot better than Uiagalelei.
Whatever happened to Kelly Bryant? I know he went to Missouri after Clemson. Did he just ever get drafted or no?
I think he made like an NFL camp.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But we've spent this entire podcast just talking about Prime, which makes sense. I think this is the official, unofficial Coach Prime podcast. I think that's fair to say.
Are we following?
I can't disagree.
What was that? Henry?
I'll be following his every move.
I think we'll all be following his every move. It does feel nice having friends like you guys that we can all feed off each other's energy when it comes to something like this, where we're just so excited all at the same time about the same thing that it's like, synergy going on.
I mean, like this whole I don't think Boulder will ever be this much in the national media. Obviously, it hasn't happened maybe since 2016. I wasn't even in Colorado in 2016. I can't imagine.
Beautiful year.
I don't know if the media was even like that hyped over Colorado.
They were pretty hyped about Colorado. I'll say that.
But this is on a whole other level. I was watching.
Sure.
I had a PTI on in the background, daytime ESPN talk show, and they were talking about CU, and I was like, what world am I living in? They would never talk about CU. In the 5 years that I've been here, I don't think they've talked once about, maybe when Mel Tucker left, but
the last time we were like big time national news was when Outside the Lines was calling us racist for firing John Embry after like a year and a half.
Yeah, well, three African American head coaches in a row, baby. That's not bad.
And filling them with other African American coaches as well. It's a cool thing to see, and I don't think it's happened in college football.
Never. Honestly, 3 straight has never happened before in FBS.
Never happened, which is crazy. Yeah, it is cool. It's very cool to see, and it's a very good time to be. It's December. Like we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait. Like what is it?
9 months.
9
months into the like we have to wait. But the good thing about it is that 9 months is going to be filled with just excellent news.
It'll be like Christmas treats every day. Oh, we got this guy. We got this guy. We got this guy.
Dog, the spring game is going to be a sellout.
Ooh, spring game is going to be amazing.
My God. It's going to be filled to the brim. There's going to be news trucks out there. And you know who our first game is against?
TCU.
It's at Dallas. I'm thinking I'm going to fly to Dallas for that.
Yeah, my dad already booked a hotel in Fort Worth. I'll probably grab a flight at some point.
I have friends out there, and Paige has friends out there too. I'm already going to book it. It's going to be I don't know where are they playing at TCU, or are they going to do it at like
I think it's at TCU. Yeah.
They'll be at TCU. All their fans were dickheads at Folsom last year, so I'm excited to return the favor.
Well, I mean, let's not get too ahead of ourselves yet.
TCU might be a tough opponent, but Nebraska, that will be God. That college, I would be shocked. I would be shocked if College Game Day isn't in Boulder.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
That's incredible. That's gonna be. We're gonna have to like camp out and bring signs.
I think so. We're gonna have to camp out, bring signs. I couldn't tell you. But
it's because you have College Game Day, you have Barstool there. I don't know if you can even have Fox Noon, their crew.
Big Noon kickoff.
But it's I don't think they'd ever put a Pac-12 game on Big Noon.
I think they have.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Colorado, Nebraska, Utah, back 2020. Yeah, big
Yeah.
noon. Actually,
Oh,
it was 10 a.m. in Colorado because it had to be big noon. So it was, yeah. So they had to kick off at 10 a.m.
But that Boulder, that game will actually be like one of the most electric atmospheres
Oh, yeah.
Boulder has seen.
If that's a night game, I think the whole city will be blacked out before kickoff.
You think it'll be a night game?
If it was a night game, I don't know if it will be a night game.
It was a night game. Dude, those 8 p.m. games last season sucked. I hated those.
Yeah, true.
I think it'd be a public safety hazard to have that game at 7 p.m. or later.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
It's a bad idea.
If C was smart, they would make it almost like a 8 a.m. game.
8 a.m. game.
If you wanna go wild, you're gonna have to suffer for it.
Makes sense to me. Anything else do you guys want to get off your minds? What do you guys think about the playoff? Do you think you agree with the top four?
Got come?
I don't think that. Wait, is it? It is. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, true.
Well, they did it for a reason, and that was the only reason. I think it was fine. I think it would have been too obvious if they put TCU at 4 and Ohio State at 3, because they'd be like, "Oh, the big game," blah blah blah.
That would have been cool, though.
I know it would have been cool, but people have been like, obviously, put that there, and like TCU is well deserving over Ohio State. So
well,
I think
to be fair, they both have one loss, and TCU's loss is worse than Ohio State's loss. But yes,
I don't know. I think Georgia's going to wipe everyone. It really doesn't. They could have combined teams. I think Georgia was still going to win everything.
What's funny is I think the only team that can beat them is Ohio State.
Yeah. No, true. Oh, are you? I'm in a weird spot where I'm rooting for Ohio State in that game.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of bookies say, like, if Michigan and Ohio State played again on a neutral field, they would price Ohio State as a 3-point favorite. Even knowing what we know after what happened in Columbus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Michigan lost their running back I forgot his name. He's the dog. Corum, yeah, he's outstanding. And then, but Ohio State.
But he was playing in that Ohio State game.
Yeah, that was all that rushing was Donovan Edwards.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's still a dog anyway. Like regardless of if he was playing or not, he had a tremendous season.
True.
And I guess Jackson's been injured, or he was injured, so he's not playing in the playoff, which is
bad for Ohio State. That's pretty bad.
It's really bad for Ohio State. I don't know.
Also, did you see Stetson Bennett is a Heisman finalist? What world are we living in?
Great game.
He's been entirely fine this year.
I mean, come on. Hendon Hooker deserved it 10 times more than he. Bo Nix deserves it more than he does.
It sucks that Hooker got hurt because he would have gotten the call probably if he just stayed on his trajectory and didn't blow out his knee.
There's so many quarterbacks deserve more than him. Players deserve more than him. I think it's
either Caleb or Duggan anyways. And I think Duggan edges Caleb out just a little bit.
I think it's going to be Caleb.
I was thinking it's going to be Caleb.
I don't know. After what Caleb did, after that Pac-12 game, like Caleb,
he was injured.
Yeah. Whatever.
And I will say, Duggan, that was one of the toughest performances I've ever seen from a quarterback out of Max Duggan. He was literally could not breathe after that drive. He was so tired.
Yards on the ground in that drive.
That was gritty. That was gritty.
He literally couldn't celebrate with his teammates because he had to get back to the sideline. It was crazy.
That last play, I don't know if he was trying to elude a handoff, but he kneeled down a little bit and then he threw it. I was like, dude, there's not a chance he gets this over the goal line. Yeah.
Also, they should have won that game. That was a touchdown. He literally reached it over the goal line. You can see it over the goal line. That was a touchdown.
I didn't think it was a touchdown.
That was a touchdown. The ball was over the goal line. That's touchdown.
I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree, TJ.
Why do you say? Let me ask you. Why do you say that?
His elbow was down before he got it across.
What are you talking about? He was on top of a pile
Someone just pull a picture up.
Are you and I thinking of the same play?
in overtime.
Yeah. I think you guys are thinking about the same play.
I'm pretty sure he was over. That was a touchdown. In any case, the ref screwed him over with the spotting of the ball there, which was gigantic.
Well, yeah, no, what I think you're right. I think it wasn't a touchdown, but you are correct that they still screwed up the spotting the ball because they should have been on like the 1 inch line rather than the 1 yard line.
Yep.
I don't know how much different that makes in the final result of the game, but they should have been able to just like sneak Doug in on what was it, either third or fourth down from the 1 inch line rather than
should have gone Walter Payton on it. Just jump.
I was thinking about that too. But yeah, I wouldn't be like shocked if Caleb won. I wouldn't be.
Caleb Williams, I think, is going to win. I think he's going to win. Max Duggan, for as great of quarterback as he has been, I don't think he's better than Caleb Williams has been this year.
No, Caleb had an unbelievable.
Also,
season.
what about Saban going on national television and like, wow, look how we playing and like crying about how
I'm glad someone brought this up.
Ugh, disgusting. Get him out of here.
If we would have played like right, who would win right now? And dude, you're so far gone. Like you gotta give it a rest. You had one bad year. Give it a rest. Let other people have fun.
Like, why play the games?
I don't think he would even beat. I don't think he would beat Michigan or Ohio State.
Here's a take. I don't know if I would not even sure if he would beat TCU.
What is Alabama's best win? Right? Is it
Texas?
Is it Texas?
And Quinn was injured. Wasn't
Quinn Ewers was injured at the end of that game, and they barely won it. TCU relatively easily won it. Alabama got a late score to make it a 7-point ball game, but they still won much easier against Texas than
TCU had
Alabama
one
did.
of the hardest strength of schedules out of those top 25 teams as well. Like they had an unbelievable schedule, and they somehow.
And Alabama's strength of schedule was terrible compared to the rest of the SEC, and they lost their 2 biggest games.
They lost to a 4-loss LSU team. 4 losses. That alone gets you out. Give me a break.
Yeah, and Michigan's strength of schedule wasn't, all of that either. But
they still went undefeated.
They improved it versus Ohio State
and Penn State.
Penn State, yeah.
Well, yeah, and like, are we having the same conversation if geography is somehow different and Ohio State and Michigan aren't in the same division of the Big Ten, or, the Big Ten scrapped the conferences and they played for the Big Ten championship the following week again. If Ohio State's in a different conference entirely, a lot of this is just based off the fact that we only get 12 or 13 games to learn about these teams, and sometimes that's not a great sample size overall.
Well, also, I mean, they schedule their own schedules, and there can be such a variance in the strength of schedule between teams, especially when you have like Alabama playing. Credit to Alabama, they did schedule a game at Texas. There are schools that don't have the nuts to go and schedule those types of games out of conference away, like true out of conference away games. But still. Anyway, thank you all for.
Because Buffs on top.
That's true.
In
that's
3
true.
Years, we are gonna beat every single team that we face.
Buffs by 90. It feels like 90, folks. Feels like 90. Buffs by 90. Let's go, Buffs.
When do we play the Gators? Do we have Deion when we play the Gators?
No, it'll be like 10 years from now.
Oh, is that 32 or some shit like that?
Like 2030.
Put Colorado in the SEC.
That's a good point. Biz Nasty said that we're in the South, right?
I actually want Bama.
You want
I
Bama?
actually do.
I want Bama too. I want Bama. That's why I'm saying national champions.
We're the new. I tweeted that. We are the new Bama.
We are the new Bama. Put it on a t-shirt.
We are. We don't want Bama.
We are Bama.
We are the new Bama.
I love the sound of that. Folks, please follow me on Twitter. I'm begging you at Tommy S. Gahan, Gahan. Follow Henry at Henry BUF Collins. And Zach at Zach, was it Zach _ Lyons 24?
Yep.
Yep. And then me on Instagram at Tommy S. Gahan, him at Henry Buff Collins. And then obviously YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iSchool Sports, subscribe, leave comment, all that jazz. Go to iSchoolSports.com. I'll go on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at iSchoolSPRTS. Go to the website at www.iSchoolSports.com to check the blogs and all that different stuff. Any final thoughts, boys?
Go Buffs.
Go Sco Buffs by a billion.
Sco Buffs, national champions, here we come. Just give it a couple years. In any case, folks, I'm Tom again. That's Hank Collins, and that is Zachary Lyons, and this has been Ice Cold Sports. See you guys.